today's bus talk, we are going to build out a nail with only cover pink. So if I start building and I'm doing a long nail, I'm going to start with my free edge first. Okay, so I'm going to submerge my brush completely into my liquid and then just dab in the middle of my brush and press the liquid to the front. So this way I've got enough liquid on in the tip of my brush so that when I go into my powder that I can pick up a nice big pull. And as you can see, I'm just bouncing. All right, the more liquid I have, the wetter my pull is going to be. Less liquid and my pull is going to be drier. Okay, so I look at the consistency, and if it is not running too much, then I will start to work with it. Otherwise, just dab your brush and just stop it. Now, because I'm just doing a one color, I'm not bothered to do my free edge too thin. I'm not going to layer, I'm just going to build a one color. And you can see I'm working just basically on the belly of my brush or the body of the brush. So just dabbing my brush as I go along to dry it out. Otherwise, it's just going to stick to your brush. So just giving it time to level out and then using the belly of my brush and then bringing it to the front and creating the length that I want. So as I said, I'm not worried about a thinner application here because we are doing a one color application. So I just want to get my product in place, get my shape in place, and I can control it with the belly of my brush. Just use the belly. So I'm not stroking at all, and also make sure that I've got contact with my natural nail. So using the belly on the sides as well, and not the tip of my brush, absolutely to get it in place. Now, if you are a beginner, then you will do all your free edges so that you can come back and press in your C-curves, because C-curves gives strength to your nail. But if you are advanced, you can go immediately to the back of your nail. So when I'm going to do this, I want to do this with one nice big pull. I don't want to pick up 6, 7 pulls. So I'm going to, again, take a lot of liquid, because the more liquid I have, the bigger pull I will be able to pick up. I'm going to drop that finger, put it down as close as possible to my cuticle area, and you'll see that the product is going to run down because I've got my finger angled. Again, I'm just wiping my brush because my pull is wet. So first of all, what I do is I go and correct my cuticle area at the back. Not really pushing it into that cuticle area, but just flattening that cuticle area and guide my product to the front. And then I will use the tip of my brush, sort of the tip and the side of my brush, to bring and blend it with the previous pull. So that is why I'm not bothered about the thickness in the front, because if I have already the thickness, I'm not worried to build thickness there in the front. But now I have to go and look, do I have a proper apex in place? And I can see that here I don't have enough product. So I'm going to fix that, working a little bit drier, so meaning I'm going to take out more liquid from my brush. Picking up a smaller pull because I don't want to get product to the front. I've got the thickness that I want. And again, drop that finger, placing it down. You can see how the product bounces back. Then I know I've got a nice consistency. Dab my brush, control it at the cuticle area, cuticle brush product, and literally not doing anything to that area, but just blending that with my previous pull. So sometimes you need a fixed pull, sometimes you don't. always check your nail before you move on to the next one. Sometimes you might have a dip in the front, then you will have to put a pull in the front. So it always depends on how runny your product is going to be, or the consistency of your product, and also the temperature that will play a role. So before I move on, I will check side profile. Do I have apex in place? Will I get it straight out before I move on to my next nail?